as a swan song, Mario Vrancic and Alex Tettey?
Yes, first of all, of course, it feels a bit surreal and special to go into the more or less the last game with them, because they were such an integral and such an important part for our plans. So at least since I arrived, both were always quite important for me in the last 4 years, and Alex even before. We will see. So the first will be my players. I will speak about the starting lineup, not too much in public. I mentioned before, so no time for any gifts or experiments. We want to be there with a strong starting lineup. And of course, obviously Oliver Skipp and also Timo Pukki were in this last starting lineup. So I have to make at least 2 changes, perhaps a few more. But the most important topic is we want to go with a strong starting lineup there in order to win some points. And then we'll see what the outcome is with the starting lineup.
Obviously, the driving force is to win the title and to win it by as many points as you possibly can. I guess there's one part of you which is disappointed you couldn't get to the 100-point mark.
No, we have achieved everything what we could achieve anyhow, because we are promoted, we won the title, we are the best Norwich City side ever on this level, on the top level, and also on all levels in terms of points in the history of the club. So we couldn't ask for more. If we would be there with 100 points, then we would speak, 111 would be a nice number or whatever. It's possible that they call us perhaps in a few decades a 99 or so, whatever would be nice. So for that would be great to add the last 3 points. But nevertheless, whatever the outcome is tomorrow, it was a great season, and no one can take this away that we wrote a chapter of Norwich City history. And of course, we want to finish in style tomorrow, and if anyhow possible, also to win all 3 points. Yeah, we are always greedy to win football matches, so no regrets that we are not able to achieve 100 points. All okay.
The team you played, Barnsley, have secured their place in the playoffs. How much of an impact do you think they'll make in the playoffs?
They have all chances, and I think they were unbelievably impressive during the season, especially during the second part of the season. So many good results, and perhaps a big surprise in the eyes of many before, because you would speak about some other teams perhaps to finish in the top 6, but they truly deserve this. They were fantastic anyhow, and I think they will be highly motivated also to finish as high as possible in the table, and also to go into this playoffs with some momentum. So for that, I think, especially in the home game, they will be highly motivated. Also to take some more self-confidence, another boost anyhow. And we have to be at our best tomorrow. But regardless what happens tomorrow, they have good chances also to be very successful there. And like all the other teams, more or less like the same chances. And they truly deserve also to be in this position.
That's brilliant. All the very best at the weekend.
Thanks. Thanks,
Donovan. Okay, if we could go to Paddy Gavitt, please, from the EVP. Paddy.
Daniel, how are you?
Hi. All good. Thanks a lot.
It's been a good week.
Yes.
Apart from the injury news, obviously, but other than the injury, boys, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to mention. So it was a bit, of course, 1 or 2 days were felt also a bit for Oliver Skipp and also for Timo Pukki, of course. But apart from this, everyone was of course in a good mood and was quite a relaxed week. But also on last day was also again concentrated anyhow, because we want to finish if anyhow possible also in style with a good performance, a good result at Barnsley. But also although we trained also quite hard, especially in the last 3 days. Everything with a smile on our face, and for that was definitely a good and relaxed week. Yes.
With Timo, obviously, the club have said you're assessing the situation, but there is a huge for his country tournament. We all know how important he has been for Finland. That's not your immediate responsibility, I know, but is there a little bit concern that he might be touch and go for the Euros with his country?
Yes, we will see. It's a bit too early to judge the situation. Yeah, of course, from a selfish point of view, from the club, I would say it would also not be the worst if Timo gets some rest and we don't have to rush anyhow. Also the re-up anyhow, but it's also a lifelong dream anyhow to play in the Euros with Finland, and he has done so much for the club. And of course, we back also his wish. Also to try everything, and we will see. It's a bit too early to judge. So we will start right now also his re-up process, and then in a few weeks time we can speak about if it's possible or not. I would label it. I'm carefully optimistic for him because he is also quite quick in terms of his recovery. Anyhow, once he is there with little injuries, so for that I'm carefully optimistic. That he will make it through the Euros, but it's a bit too early to speak about this. Our fingers are crossed for him. Although, like I mentioned, a bit selfish. He would also perhaps even hope for a bit more rest, and would be also deserved, because no other striker probably in Western Europe has had more games in the last 3 years than Timo. But yeah, of course, we support him with his wish, and hopefully everything goes well with re-up so that he's ready to go then also for the Euros. But it's a bit too early to judge it.
But in terms of, it could go the other way and he is available, but then, if he sadly had an issue at the tournament itself, then it starts to, impact in terms of Norwich and the Premier League and pre-season. Is there, without giving too much away in terms of your transfer planning, but is there an added importance maybe to look at that area of the pitch in terms of the top end of the pitch, or were you probably looking at that area anyway, irrespective of what happens with Timo and his fitness?
Yes, I think it's our responsibility to look on this area on all areas anyway. If I'm honest, I would label there's not one area where we are not in talks and also with our thoughts in order to improve this, because this is our claim. We want to go with the strongest possible starting lineup, and for that, in each and every area, we will stay awake and aware what will happen. Yeah, to be honest, it's always from the selfish point of view. Always, as a club, you're always a bit concerned when the players are away on international duties. If they have an injury before, or even not, though, something could even happen to a player who had no problems at all. So we had this, for example, with Adam Idah the last time when he was in contention for Ireland, and he came back and was injured for 3 months, and for that there's always a little bit of fear. But if I'm honest, it could also happen in training, or sometimes it also this experience in everyday life. I think there was an injury for Hernandez when he went down the steps in his house. So for that, you can't live just in fear anyhow. So it's great that these lads are allowed to represent their countries anyhow. For that, of course, we allow this. Of course, our fingers are crossed, but it's also our responsibility, especially keeping in mind there's a bit more risk perhaps if they don't have a proper pre-summer break anyhow, and they play such an important tournament and such an intense tournament, that we stay awake and aware, and that we are also capable to react short term if there is perhaps an injury anyhow. So, but we will look in each and every area in our squad anyway in order to improve this, and for that, it doesn't change our plans too much, if I'm honest.
In terms of, you've been asked about Mario and Alex, and you're right. They've been with you on this journey. Mario was pretty much your first signing, I think, when you came in 2017. But ultimately, I'm sure you and Stuart would have had a lot of conversations about those two. Do you have to put the personal aside and just no sentimentality? And it's really ultimately trying to keep the club moving forward and what you need in terms of personnel for the Premier League next season. You can't really allow that to cloud your judgment, I guess, in terms of what those guys have done for you in the past.
Well, all the decisions that we take, we have to take this in the sense of the club, and which is the right way to go for the club. And sometimes there are even some decisions to make that hurt a lot. Also, like I have to say, so I've more than one tear in my eye when I think about them both, because not just two fantastic football players, but also two great personalities. And it was a joy and really a privilege also for me to be allowed to work with them each and every day. And right now it's also not the time perhaps to speak about why we had to take this decision anyhow together with them. It's more like also to celebrate their quality and their personality, and also to speak about what they have done for the club, and is amazing, and they will be always remembered. Yeah, I think Alex place as a Norwich City legend in the history books is you can't deny this, and what a great human being he is, and what a privilege it is not just to work with him, but also to be allowed to spend more or less each and every day in my last 4 years with him. Of course, both. We also liked the summer break when it was also possible, perhaps for a few days, not to see each other, but otherwise, I have to say, so it's really a joy to be allowed to work with such a quality player, but also with such a quality human being of like Alex said, and the same with Mario. I spoke several times about some doubts in his first year. I spoke several times also about the criticism that some supporters labeled me his father-in-law anyhow, when it didn't click immediately after he came. But I was always fully convinced of his quality, and he would help us. And when we think about some magic moments, not just the goal at Villa Park when he's helped us to finish anyhow in style and to win the title, but also made magic moments. Remember the free kick against Sheffield Wednesday, a pretty important goal for us once we were promoted. Also during this season, so he won us so many late points with his goals, with his free kicks, and a great footballer, great human being, and they will always be in our hearts and our souls. And it's also difficult also for me, I have to be honest, so not to be too emotional in this day. So I try to also in the team talks anyhow, and in training sessions when I watch him, I try to put a serious face and a brave face on, and try to work with business as normal and as usual anyhow. But it's also difficult because so many great memories are there, and they will live forever also for me and myself anyhow, and we'll never forget them. I was allowed to work for such a long time with these players, and also some a bit surreal times, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well said. On the affections and memories, I did want to get, on a personal level, I thought that was a nice moment for you and your players after the games the other day, the spontaneity, just to go outside and obviously socially distanced, but to share that moment with those fans who were outside the stadium there. What did that mean to you, really? Because it must have been as you say, keep using the word surreal, but all season, no real fans. There was one or two of those pilot events, but the majority of empty stadiums, and not to feel that close connection in terms of in the stadium with you, but just to share those moments with those fans, you and your players. What did that mean to you?
There's no replacement for this, and it's important that you value this moment and that you also remember these moments anyhow. So we were so disappointed, and if I'm honest, during many days during the season, because we had some magic days and magic nights when you think, okay, if there would be a full packed road, the stadium would have been exploded. When I think about Mario's, for example, late free kicks goals or late goals when we were capable to win games, or the moment once we were promoted, the moment once we win the title. Also, when I think about the last home game for Alex Tete and for Mario Funchal, they would have so much deserved. Also for Xavi Quintilla, for example, anyhow. So after he scored this goal, they all would have deserved anyhow to finish their last home game in front of a full packed Carrow Road and to savor and to celebrate these moments. But sadly it was not possible, and for that we need then also this little moments when you feel how much it means also to the people that what we have achieved during the season. And thank God we had at least a few little tastes. But if I'm honest, it should be also a great motivation for next season anyhow, because we still can remember how great it was to celebrate 2 years ago the title anyhow, and to value the title 2 years ago together with our supporters. And I tell you what, if we're really capable to to fight for our right to stay on Premier League next season, and we are capable to savor this, we will definitely do a promotion parade. So whatever the club says, anyhow, if I have to do it all alone with my players, I will definitely do this, and I will also invite Mario and Alex to do this anyhow. So then we won't have the spirit for winning the title, but for being allowed to stay in the league. So we will find definitely a way also to value and to celebrate together once it's allowed, because what the lads have done together with our supporters anyhow also during the season, although they were not in the stadium, was amazing. And for that, proud moment. Sadly not allowed to celebrate with them, but believe me, there will be a time to value this and to celebrate this also all together.
Yeah, we'd all like that, I'm sure. Just two more if I can, Daniel. Can you talk, I mean, when we listen to you and you talk about the fans and, you know, your heart is yellow and like this part of England is your second home now. I mean, did you feel this was possible to have this sort of emotional attachment to this football club when you walked through the door back in 2017? Or, you know, you just, I guess as you've always said, it's a very volatile business. You have to win games of football to stay in the job. But looking back now, the only manager in the history to win 2 titles with the club, 2 promotions. Did you think it was possible you would like 3 or 4 years down the line have this sort of attachment to this place?
It's difficult to say because I was not thinking that much and that intense about this topic. So if I would have not thought it's possible, probably I wouldn't have chosen Norwich. My gut feeling was already great. But if I'm honest, my first thought was I knew not all the details, but a lot about the situation of the club with all the financial necessities. Also that we have to sell our best players. Also that the club was a bit searching for his playing philosophy, at least. Also like for the values. Watch at the training ground anyhow, and watching that our young lads, our academy has to switch the clothes in some containers anyhow. And I was thinking, it's so difficult anyhow to lead this club to success, especially because the expectations and the tradition of the club was so high. But the reality, if I'm honest, was at least a difficult situation. If I'm honest, because we had a pretty old squad and needed an overhaul of the squad, and then to do this as being not a native speaker, the first appointed manager anyhow from abroad. To lead this club with this high expectations, with this unbelievable history, and also with this emotions that such a big club causes, and with the supporters, such a difficult situation. You would think more like if you're capable to manage this situation and to bring success to this club, then you don't have to fear anything in football anymore. This was more like my realistic judgment that it would be possible to create such an unbelievable success anyhow. So I was not even willing to think about it, because it's more like you just have to focus and concentrate on work and of course I would have such an emotional bond also to this place, to the city, to this community, to this support. Of course, in the back of your mind, you dream perhaps even a little bit about this, but I have not expected this because I didn't take this for granted. And I have to say, from the first day, there was so much support and so much trust and also so much goodwill anyhow. And I will be forever grateful and thankful. And I know at any point, anyhow, then the people want also something different. At any point in the future, sometimes we say, I can't see all this passing anymore and all this fluent football anymore. We want a proper 4-4-2 with long balls and fighting for second balls. And I totally get this. Anyhow, that's you always want to have something what you don't have. And I also know that at any point I won't be in this responsible role in whatever 20 years time. So I know this, but furthermore, I value a lot that I'm allowed to be in this responsible role for this club, and I will be forever grateful and thankful for all the trust and all the backing and all the support. And it's hard to value this while you are in the process, because you always have to be in this leading role and you have to go forward. You have to keep going. But I know, so in the silent moments, and anyhow, and there will be also some silent moments during the summer breaks. When I watch back, I value this a lot, and like I mentioned, I will be forever grateful for this.